Hello, thank you so much for being here, watching another video. You probably know who this is, but if you don't, you should. It is the amazing Brooke Moltrum, star of endless, multiple, brilliant verticals. And I'm going to ask her to tell you all a little bit about herself.
Hi guys, I'm Brooke Moltrum. That was a lovely introduction. Yeah, I grew up in Camas, Washington in the United States. It's a beautiful little town, and I am now making it big in LA doing verticals and all the things. So I'm really happy to be here. Jen invited me and I'm super excited.
So I have to ask, what was the first TV show or musical or film that caught your imagination as a child? That was the one that you're like, I love this.
A great question. When I was 8 years old, my parents took me to see The Lion King, and that was that was phenomenal. Oh my gosh, and I remember seeing the child actors on stage and thinking like, I could do that. I really want to do that. And that kind of started my love for musical theater. And obviously, I went and saw Wicked too when I was like, I think 12. And then, yeah, the rest is history. It took off for me. I was doing a lot of musicals. And actually, it's funny, my first Broadway performance was on the Minskoff stage in New York, and that is the Lion King stage. So it kind of went full circle. But yeah, I started really loving theater and musical theater, and then film just kind of came as a natural second. So, but I think what really sparked my interest was musicals.
Oh, that's a perfect one. And what's like the favourite role that you've played in a musical? What's the one that you were like, I got to do that?
I feel like I owe it to, I've done a lot of musicals too. I like doing new musicals. Like last year, I got to do a brand new musical called Seagull Song. And it was based, I don't know if you're familiar with any theater, but it was based on Anton Chekhov's The Seagull.
Oh, I know that.
And yeah, of course, it's a classic. And there is a woman in that show, referred to as the Woman in Black. Her character name is Masha. And this brilliant team wrote a musical about Masha in a modern telling, and her name is Maya. And she tells this awesome story about, falling in love with Connie, Constantine. She's a sound engineer, and so they produce music together, and it's tragic, but it was a really wonderful experience and a beautiful musical.
It's quite nice because I remember talking to Mariah Moss about this, and because she was saying, obviously, she started loving musicals, and that what I guess the thing was when there's already been a role that, like Elphaba and Wicked, that so many people have done, it's almost harder to put your own interpretation on it. So was that partly the appeal of a new musical? It's not been done before, so this is like blank canvas. Brooke can make it whatever she wants.
Absolutely. Originating a character is amazing. There's something that Uta Hagen says that's basically like Uta Hagen is an acting, connoisseur teacher. But she says basically when you step into a new role, or a role that's been done before, it's new anyways because you bring the essence. It's like your soul transferred into this new person. So that's how it doesn't repeat. Like Alphaba is a new Alphaba because we have Cynthia Erivo and all that stuff. And even though she looks different, she also brings a different essence, which I think is so beautiful too about repeated roles. But yeah, if I can originate something, I mean, that's always the goal. And with these verticals, and I can originate every single one. I mean, even though they are kind of the same storylines, it's fun to give it a different take or like some complexities here and there. So, yeah.
So I feel we need to fill in the timeline gap. So you're in New York. How do you get to LA?
So I got to New York. You're right. Yes. Big timeline gap. When I was 16 years old, I won Best Actress in Washington State. For my high school was incredible. Thank you. My high school was amazing. In the theater department, I owe a lot to my mentor, Sean Kelly, and Sylvia Manzo and Laura Thorson. They all kind of brought me up in the theater, and I was like, I was a theater kid and I was going to do Broadway. That's what it was. That was the path. And I won this award for my performance as Fiona in Brigadoon. And it got me a spot at the Jimmy Nederlander Awards, the Jimmy Awards in New York, where you get to perform for like a week on Broadway. And so that was my Broadway debut. I got to New York. I did the thing with some really talented, incredible people. We performed on the Minskoff stage. And while I was in New York at 16 years old, I was like, I don't know. I know that this is what I've always wanted, to be on Broadway and do this, but it's a lot of work. I mean, they don't get enough praise for how hard it is, an 8-show week. The theaters, you think when you're a kid, like these expansive theaters, the theaters are pretty small. And it was a lot. It was hard. And I didn't know if New York was necessarily my spot. It was very city, and I was so used to being surrounded by nature. And as an artist, I take a lot from nature and just being able to feel that energy. And not that the city life brought a lot of people to me, which was nice, but I really do enjoy having an escape, like the ocean. So I ended up going to school at Pepperdine. I had transferred to Pepperdine. That's a whole other story, but I transferred to Pepperdine my second year, and I fell in love with just the landscape of California, and I got encouraged there to start doing film, and I loved it. I really enjoyed that you get to live. Again, I'm a very atmosphere environment person, so being able to like be in the set and like live in this moment so presently was really like you're in a mansion in the house. Like you're not, it's a set, but it's not like a built set. And it just appealed to me. I really, and I like the style of it. So that's how I got out here, and I have been out here now for the past 3 years. So yeah.
I guess that's a lot of insight to have as well, to realise that, okay, this might have been the dream, but actually this doesn't feel right, and this isn't quite the way I want my path to go. Like, I think that's really phenomenal to have that when you're
Yeah, it was
quite
a
young,
hard
and just have the
realization
strength
too.
to, like, "Do you know what, no, I am going to change this, and that's all right. I don't have to, path doesn't
Yeah.
have to be quite what I thought it was going to be."
Exactly. And I mean, who's to say that it won't happen someday still? Like I still sing, I'm still doing the thing, so I'm like, maybe eventually I get back there and do that. I'd love for the work to take me there. So that's kind of where I have left that opportunity, is like,
Mm.
if the work comes, it comes, and if it doesn't, I'm happy being here.
So obviously this is a vertical drama channel, so I know you've done other bits of film and TV, but I do have to focus in on the verticals. So
Absolutely. Of
when
course.
did you first hear about them? How did your first role come about? What was it like?
Yeah. So, I randomly had first heard of them. I was dating someone at the time who is actually in this sphere, who is a wonderful, absolutely great person. We didn't work out, but he's lovely, but he was doing these verticals. And I gave him such a hard time about it. It's like, these are crazy. What are you doing? But he had showed me what they were. And I would help him with his auditions, and I was just like, yeah, no. I was doing a short film that was a very intense, like I had this thick Hungarian accent. I was doing all this character work. I was like deep in my, I'm an actor and blah, 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 and all that stuff that just really doesn't matter. And he was just, he was booking so consistently. And I was like, maybe there's a thing to these. And he was like, you should try it. You really need to try it. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll do one, like one audition, and that's it. And I I did. It was Fated to My Forbidden Vampire. It was actually called Buy Me With Your Blood at the time. And I got up on it. I did the audition, and yeah, I got a call back. And so I signed on to the callback like a little bit nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, like these are that serious that they like call you back. And I got on the Zoom and it was with a director in the Sphere. Her name is Ira. And she basically was just like, you have the role, let's talk about it. And we dove into all this character work for this vertical. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty serious. Like she's taking this seriously. And so then I got on set and I met Nick Ritako, who is an awesome actor. Because I really didn't think that he was going to be anything super, I was just expecting, oh, it's a pretty boy, like they can sometimes act, whatever. He challenged me on set. He was actually a very good scene partner. Pushed me to really know my script, know my stuff. He would move me on set because I had no idea what I was doing. I had never done a multicam before. I acted like I knew how to be there, but I was so out of my element. And doing that very first one it was awesome. So I do owe a lot to this individual for getting me into them, and I really appreciate that he did that. And even though it didn't like work out in the end, he's still working, and I wish him the absolute best. And he's doing great too. So it's been awesome.
So that's quite a great first vertical to go into because it's such a good story, and I think it's a lot of people's favourites. I do think the fact that people know that you and Nick are together adds an extra layer, but I think you take it away, it's still a fantastic thing. Obviously, you've got Kira Wisely in it. I think it's one of her, you told me it was one of her early ones, and she's fab. I mean, she's fabulously awful, but she's fab with as Fiona. But also you were like the heroine, you're a lead, so that, and it's such a big role. It must kind of
It was, yeah,
were
it
you
was
aware of the
huge.
tropes and the kind of the fact you would be told to go bigger, play it more when you started?
Yeah, I was told that. I was just like, but I read the script and I was like, this all makes sense. It all makes sense to be huge in this world because the stakes are so high. Um, I mean, it's already a fantasy. Like, it's not, I mean, we can talk as much as we want about like bringing realism to this vampire
Mm.
world, but it's pretty crazy. And so I was totally fine with like if you watch the first episode, Kira casts a spell on me and I go all out. Just lose my mind under the spell. Because my director was like, it is intense pain, just intense, like so terrible, such bad pain. And I've since learned I need to be a little bit more aware of my face when I'm feeling so much pain. Like my this is so funny. My mom bought me a tear stick so that I look a little bit prettier when I cry, because when I do actually cry,
Such a good mum thing to do.
no, she bought me a tear stick and sent it to me because she couldn't stand seeing me in these verticals like like making my like Kim Kardashian crying face. She was like, we're done. We can't do that anymore. And it's so funny because I do now I use the tear stick on set and it is so pretty. It looks so much better than like getting super emotional
Yeah.
and getting so worked up. But it's funny because you go back and you watch that first episode and you just see me going through it.
Do
Uh
I felt it? I felt that pain. I mean, your
yeah.
commitment works for the viewer because it's like blimey, and it's quite good because I find it quite interesting as an early vertical. The effects that they've put on because it's
Mhm.
not just that Kira's standing there. They've got like sort of after effect, so it looks like there's some sort of power. It's pretty impressive because I think often when you go back to the early verticals, you're like, okay, it's a bit like the original Star Trek series. Okay, that's a cardboard box, but no, this is really well produced and really well put together. So
Yeah, they did a great job. I got so seriously, I got so lucky to get in when I did because now it's really hard to break into this industry.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone wants to do it. because we're pretty
So
much
you're
the
basically
only.
you're in already. That's so interesting that now it's actually wow. That's really
Yeah,
interesting. Okay,
yeah,
I'm going to come
it
back to that.
became, yeah, it became such an industry. Yeah, it's cool.
So obviously you've had quite a lot of different roles, and I think you've got this wonderful versatility. We never quite know when you turn up on screen if it's not already set up sort of what your character's going to do, which I think for us the viewer is much more interesting. Presumably is a lot more fun for you as an actress. I
Yeah.
really want to talk about Deadly Husband because you've played a few villains, but I really like this one because I feel she has an arc which is more than what tends to happen. So I'll do a very brief synopsis if that's right with you. So
Yes,
she is
please.
the other woman
Mhm.
and she's all
Yeah.
in. I think it's a bit Lady Macbeth almost. She's the other woman. She's in with a dastardly husband, doing all sorts of things to the wife.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, the dastardly husband, she realizes he's going to turn on her as well. And they kind of fall out. And it's the fact that then she's, in a way, trying to help the wife. And, you know, it doesn't end brilliantly. I don't think that's a massive spoiler. Um, what was that? Were you quite interested to receive that script? To actually like, oh, wow, there's a bit more going on here.
Yes, yes, it came to me, and we almost didn't do it. Like the timing, there was something about the timing and all this stuff, but then I gave it a quick read and I was like, this is so different. There were four actors in that whole thing
Mm,
throughout the entire shoot. And I just thought it was more of an ensemble, not an ensemble piece, like a lot of ensemble, but
mm.
our ensemble piece. And that was, yeah, it's one of the best scripts I've done because, yes, my character had, I forget her name. Oh my gosh, I've done so
Megan.
many.
It's all
Megan,
right. They all
that's
merge. I'm learning this.
it's like, oh my gosh, Megan. Yeah, Megan's this just kind of nasty, like she's so terrible. And I loved that in the beginning. I really wanted her nasty, and she's totally in on this plot. That when you watch you'll understand. She's in on the whole thing to just get rid of this other woman. And then I love the moment that she has in the bedroom, right right with the actress's name is Alex, but we're in the bedroom at the very end, and I'm just like, who are you to talk? Like, you don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. And just like has this whole vulnerable moment. And there's this, I don't know if they kept it. I haven't gotten to see. I've only seen the first part of that scene, but they let me when we were shooting it. There's a shot of me in the mirror crying. Did they keep that? I hope they did. Sometimes I don't
I
get to see my
can't
work. Yeah, but
remember.
there's this, if not, there was this really powerful moment where I go to the mirror and I just cry, and I realize how unfair it's been to her, but how unfair my life has been. So yeah, it was a really incredible character. I loved the script and I loved everyone on that set. That set was airtight. We had a blast.
Because I'm very fond of Carl Maddox. It's Carl, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, he's a sweetie. He's great.
Um, I have to ask as well. I think surely that's got to be like on a vertical bucket list as well of things to do. You get a really, I mean, like a proper good death scene. I mean, if that's got to be one of the best on-screen deaths.
I
It's
did.
phenomenal.
Thank you. I come back to I like I died. Yeah, oh my gosh, I loved it. I absolutely, oh, we had such a blast doing it. And we were, by the end, everyone was covered in fake blood. There's money everywhere. It's the most gruesome, random thing. Oh my gosh. And so my mom is a big fan of soap operas. I adore my mother. I have two incredible parents, my dad and my mom, and they both support me so much. But my mom really likes these verticals. So she was watching I was sending her pictures from that night, and she was so worried that something like actually bad was going to happen because it looked so bad. It just, to any onlooker, it looks like we were hurting each other, like, or it was an unsafe environment, but we were totally fine. We had a stunt coordinator there. It was all fake, but it
It
looks like
is.
a
I was
Tarantino
worried about
film.
the cleanup crew. Put it like that. I was like, someone was there a long time afterwards. So,
Truly, yeah, we were in a beautiful house in like Bel Air, so we had to clean that stuff up. It was messy.
let's talk about that. What are they like? Because I mean, I think it's something as viewers we love. Just some of the houses and sets that you get to go to are stunning. I mean, are you an interiors fiend? Is it a bit of a let's see what they've done with the kitchen? Let's see what they've done with this.
Of course. Yeah, especially with my new move. I'm like I was I it definitely inspired where I wanted to live too. The mansions out here are just, I mean, they're breathtaking. We're so blessed to work in these environments. I don't even know how they get these locations. It's something that I would love to dive into later on, maybe on the production side of things. But yeah, they're to die for. And my favorite is when we get a bedroom for holding, like when there's enough bedrooms in the area or in the mansion for like cast to go off, and I'll like take a little nap. Or I'll like escape and take a nap or film a self tape during like if I'm playing like a villain or something, I'll just sneak off and have a little second to myself. They're wonderful. I could not Mansions are my favorite. I must be in the minority.
Out of interest, are the owners or are sort of staff or people connected with the mansion over there, or is it always it's just the crew?
Yeah, no, sometimes they are. And sometimes they're really great, and sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle because it is their home, and we need to be respectful of their home, and we're doing a lot of crazy things in their home. And so things can get tipped over, glasses can break, you
Yeah.
can be too loud and get the cops called on you. So yeah, I think there's a fine line between there's a lot of respect that goes into it. You have to be respectful of the homeowner, and sometimes they can get upset with all the fake blood on the floor or all of this,
Mhm.
which I think is completely valid. So it just depends on who you get. But they typically are wonderful people and are letting you into the space. So yeah.
Um, so talking about interiors, see, this isn't what I should remember, is it? So I do want to talk to you about Second Chance Double Trouble, but my brain, the first thing it goes to is a kitchen, because there was a really good kitchen in that.
Yeah.
There's a really
No, there was.
nice kitchen. I mean,
Yes, a
also, there's
beautiful
you and
kitchen.
there's Nick Westaway, but I'm mainly like, there was a really good kitchen.
There was.
Shows my
No,
age.
that place, oh my gosh, we were shooting in Vancouver, Canada. Oh, and I loved it. I loved all the places we went there. The sets, like the sound stages there were fantastic. Super clean. Like if I dare say, like better than LA. They were awesome. So I really, really loved working there. It was great.
Okay, so if you haven't seen Second Chance Double Trouble, you should go and watch it. It's a great story because it's the twins separated at birth story, which happens far too often in verticals. It's incredibly worrying. But there's the great thing of basically you've got one twin. Nick Westaway's character has the other twin, and
Mhm.
then basically they meet and end up swapping, and it's just genius. So there's the comedy and the fact that, I mean, I don't think you would mind it, but the Rate twins sell it, don't they? I mean, they are just
They
the
did. I
cute
and
level is off the charts.
Yes, they're so adorable. And our director worked with them fantastically. She was, giving them very specific notes, was really helpful, giving them acting exercises. A lot of what you see, what we actually caught on camera is them improving with our
Mm.
director. and just catching, because the lines were tough for them. It's hard to memorize
Mm.
lines in that short of a time and to have so many lines and sometimes lines that don't
Yeah.
really make any sense. And so Leon just let them figure it out and play a little bit, and we got what we needed to get. And because she did that, we were able to capture this brilliant performance out of these kiddos, and they are so lovely. They're so cute.
And I think what they're really clever at doing is you always know which one's which from the way they play it, which is, I think that's like, to be able to do that is phenomenal, and obviously just makes it easier for the viewer to follow the story because it is quite who's with who. Um, but the other thing as well is I really like Lorraine's a really rounded character. And I think you break my heart in that one. And I think I put it in the review because Lorraine actually gets to sort of stand up and go, do you know what I've been through? Do you know what I'm dealing with here? Which I don't think the put upon vertical heroine always really gets to say, or with the power that you do. Um, when you get these scripts, do ones like that? Because I mean, I'm like, I go through your roles and I'm like, that's like one of my favourite. Do you also have that sense of like, yeah, this script is a winner. This is going to do really well.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like any heroine that I get that has a little bit of a backbone or a backbone. I get a lot of the time my direction is to play more innocent, more meek. And I get, because I get really strong lines and I want to just deliver them and like give it to these people that are doing whatever they are to me. But I get like, bring it down, but submissive, more submissive. This one, I got to let her be. And I look for that in scripts. I look for actually like where she doesn't have to be so small.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the females that get to be a little bit bolder, bigger, and have real moments. And gosh, any real moment in these, I clench onto. I'm like, perfect. I can actually like really dive in. And I worry because sometimes it's hard to give those moments justice when we're moving so fast on the 12-hour days and getting a lot of pages done. And so I definitely, when we do have a real moment, like we really actually have to drop in and do this justice. And something that I realized recently is that there are a lot of people that watch these and they actually mean something to them. Because with Lorraine, I got a lot of messages that were just like, you helped me realize like this is abusive, like this is not good behavior, and you like the way that you were like, I'm so tired of this. That's so, I mean, aren't we all? We get so tired of putting up with ridiculous behaviors that aren't okay. And I don't know, when that resonated with other people and people started telling me that, that was like, oh my gosh, wow, I really do need to take these seriously. And when I played oh gosh, when I did Irresistible Love with my brother-in-law with Nick, and I played the widow. Her name evades me right now. Amelia, I think. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Amelia. When I played Amelia, I got a ton of messages about being a widow, and how I depicted that pain and how that really resonated with people. So yeah, I think there's something to be said for how, yeah, these scripts are wild and kind of crazy, but at the end of the day, like they do resonate. And Lorraine resonated with a lot of people. Just the strength that she had to have, regardless of what was happening. That was cool.
But that's quite interesting that obviously the notes coming from above to make Mika, and it's just working out how we change that in the stories because obviously I talk to lots of fans and they sort of tell me what they want to see, and it's always, I want to see more independent women, I want to see women being stronger, I want to see badass female characters, it's all that. So it's just, I guess that's all we can do as fans, is just if we keep just saying, but that's what we're looking for, that's what we're looking for, hopefully the message gets through that, yeah, the other stories we're kind of watching them because there's nothing really I guess, filling that gap of that kind of escapism, but we will watch more ones where it's something like Lorraine and there's that truth and it relates to our lives. So
Yeah,
do you think that's the best
absolutely.
thing we can do? I guess it's really, I'm asking kind of on behalf of all actors and actresses, what do we need to
Yeah.
do to help you get those scripts?
I think yeah, I think it's that, and also just knowing that that is what you guys want to see, because I do think that with certain castings, like with my casting, you'll get a little bit of a character with a backbone. I'll sneak it in there, or like yeah, I do
Yeah.
just as me as Brooke, my I bring that energy to a character naturally. And something that I've had to deal with in this industry where I've gotten rejected is I can't, the submissiveness of a certain character, I can't go all the way there, or I've struggled going there, being super submissive with the lines that I get. So, obviously I take direction and I do the best that I can, but I do think that people are, when they cast me, they know that I'm going to bring a little bit of a spark to these women. And I think you get that same thing from a lot of the women that the fans really love, and
Yeah.
ones that are some of my best friends. They're incredible women. And not saying that the other women that do these aren't incredible. I'm sure they're great, but I've gotten to meet quite a few that are truly incredible, that do bring that essence to the characters that they play, and you can tell. And so we're doing our best on our side. I think the louder you guys can be about what you want to see in this content is, I think that's all we can do, and we'll do our best to move it forward. And it's happening, though. That's what's really exciting, is it is happening, and scripts are evolving, and we get on set and people are listening, and we're changing things like on the fly sometimes. So that's really good.
Because I feel it's grown tremendously since January. And I can kind of see that there's in some areas there's a bit of a double down on the old stuff that has worked, but there's also so many new apps, so many new production companies. The UK is finally getting itself in gear because we've got over being total snobs about it, and we're like, oh, maybe we should make these little vertical things. But obviously, it's happening all over Europe. I mean, we're like that in the UK. We think we're better than everything, but we're really not. I also think this is an exclusive. I also think we need to hand back the great. I think we're just Britain. I don't think we can really have the great anymore. That needs to give that one back. We don't quite earn it anymore. But anyway, I've gone off on a tangent. But my point is I think the quality is improving a lot this year. You can see there's new storylines, and they're trying different things. So hopefully we keep pushing it in the right direction. So you've already
Absolutely.
mentioned your role as Amelia in. Sorry, Brett, this is what I do. I go off on a random
No, you're
tangent.
fine. I
Um,
love it. I'm following.
sorry. So, Amelia Walsh in Irresistible Love of My Brother-in-Law. See, that's a really interesting role because initially, when you look at it, she would seem she's quite quiet and submissive. I felt that you were playing down more, but actually, she is an incredibly strong woman, like really, really strong, and is like I mean, everyone's pretty nice, and that's one of the nice things about it. But she's this beautiful sort of core and heart and strength throughout the movie. And it also felt you were able to play it a little bit slower because it wasn't
Hmm.
just in a lot of verticals. It would be like you have. I mean, it is. It's phenomenally powerful. The scene where you lose your lovely, lovely Daniel Bateman, and you lose
Yes.
him. And that is beautifully filmed because they do this very clever shot, I think, where you're sat on the floor, but like there's all that movement around you, but you're just sat there, which is just, well, like Chef's Kiss. But often in a vertical, it would be like 2 episodes later, and she's got together with the next guy. And that doesn't
Yes.
happen in
No.
this one. There's actually emotional
No.
time. And that just felt, it sounds odd, but for verticals, that felt so special that it's actually, there's time, and it's not this just, yeah, just that the relationship develops, and you're both, your character and Nick's character both battling with like, is this the right thing to do? Are we dishonouring people around us? I mean, I just thought it was an astonishing script. Again, And also, what was the discussion about the two of you as well? Like, were you both cast at the same time? Did one get cast and then the other? Like, how did it all work and come together?
That's such a great question. Um, no, sort of, but no. I got an Instagram DM that was like, "Hey, we're gonna cast you and Nick in this." And Nick was being considered for China at the time. And he didn't even know that he got this casting call, but he didn't know that they actually wanted him and I. He had gotten like an email that basically was like, "Hey, we want you for this," but he was like, I don't know, I'm debating going to China. I've got this, I've got that. But then I was like, "No, we could do this one. Like you and I could do this one." And he was like, "Oh my gosh, well, if it's going to be us, then let's do it." So that was kind of funny. Totally random how we ended up being able to work that out, but we did. And so we got put together on that. And then yeah, it was crazy because we were like, wow, this one doesn't have like any intimacy. And yet we're together. It was like, we had to we didn't have much. We were kind of forbidden love in a way that was like not forbidden love, but it was really complicated, and it wasn't like we could play on our relationship like how we actually have a relationship in real life. It was like we had to, this was a complicated thing for both of our characters, and so I think that yeah, it was a really good script. And you're right when you say that she was smaller a little bit, or like she feels a little bit more um innocent, like a little bit more submissive. And I kept getting that note, and I remember telling the people around me, my support system, I was like, I don't know how this character is going to turn out. I really don't know if I like her. Like, I feel like she is just. I had a really hard time with Amelia because I was like, I just don't love that so, I'm so beaten down and all of this stuff. But what really kind of came through was she's just a sweet person. She has such a good heart. And that was what kept me resonating with her, in the sense of like when she needed to be meek, when she needed to be submissive, when she was getting all the crap that she gets at work. It was more about, she's dealing with things and she understands, like it's like turning the other cheek. There's more important things to be worried about and upset about. And so that's where I kind of came from when she did need to be not as loud or boisterous, or like, hey, you can't talk to me like that. It was more of like this isn't worth it. It's not worth her time to be concerned about things like that. And that was a good lesson to learn, because I was really worried about it, and it came out beautifully. So
Comes out so well. And I think one of the other things people really like about that is like obviously the love thing and the family thing as well, because what's great is that the mother is very much on Amelia's side, and I think everyone's expecting, often
yeah.
vertical parenting can be dire, shall we say. This is I really did want to ask a question about Nick, but I did. Was it written in already that there would be the use of the Italian, or was that put in because they ended up casting Nick and obviously the actress who plays his mother, who can both speak Italian? I just wanted to know what came first.
Yes, actually, the script had Italian in it,
Okay.
but not real Italian. Like,
Okay.
so not correct Italian, but it did
Yeah.
have the sentiment there. And so yeah, Sylvia, because she's from Italy, and has Italian citizenship and all of that stuff. So she
Mm.
she looked over our script and she changed. I mean, she corrected everything, and she added a little bit of Italian here and there. She helped Nick because Nick knows some Italian and he's great at speaking it. But I mean, they were both they worked really well together to get that Italian really nice and tight. And so you really do feel kind of immersed in that culture, which I think is such a fun part of that show, is that you get
And
this
I
like
know for
deep Italian.
and I know for the fans that I've spoken to, sort of when I did the review of it, that yeah, they really, really liked that. And obviously, you've got people in Italy going, finally, there's some Italian on the screen in a vertical. So yeah, I just think that's brilliant, and I love that Sylvia obviously took it and kind of polished it and made it what it was. So I do have to ask about, well, the most recent one I've seen of yours is, you see, it's one of those things. If it was already a great vertical, because it's the Hot CEO Rejected 500 Ladies to Me, and it's a great one. And you've got Kevin Dockery, who is the world's most beautiful man, and then you've got Skylar Fast. It's great, and then you're just like la 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 la, and then suddenly Brooke Moltrum turns up as like the best friend ever. I mean, I first of all, I really appreciate you taking a role that isn't the lead, because the world would have missed out on some of the best comedy scenes in verticals if you hadn't done that. Because the pair of you are an absolute hoot when you're out on the town together. Then you have one of the funniest things where actually you're off screen and not really in it, but then there's the guy who's taking you home and is obviously just dealing with you being deranged and Carrie. And then the final bit where you just, yeah, I mean, you're in the bathroom. You know how much I love that scene. I don't know what possessed the pair of you, but you both just do this and then descend. It's utter genius. Was it as much of a blast as it looked like on that set?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was so much fun. And yeah, I honestly, if I just like being on set. I like having a good time. And so you throw me in. Like put me in, coach. I want to do it. I want to do anything. And I got that this timing worked out perfectly. It was right before I went to Canada to shoot Second Chance Double Trouble. I
Mm.
had truly just like this small amount of days where I could fit this in. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And Skylar and I were instant friends. I mean, she is phenomenal and such a great actress. And when you have somebody so open to play with you, you both can play. And yeah, we had a blast. We did our own thing on that and they let us ride with it. So I'm so grateful. It was so much fun.
Because I think we need that in verticals. We need like the all girl buddy kind of duo. I mean, I could see, it's Carrie and Lydia. Just like that's an adventure on its own. Just carrying Lydia out on the town one night. I could just see that would be an entire vertical almost in real time of like what goes on when they're out on the town. It's like we need. I
Absolutely.
just think that would be brilliant. I would love that so much.
Me too. I really hope that one comes out of like a girl gang, a girl group that's like, doing their thing. And I think it's probably in the works somewhere. But yeah, that would be a blast. And the chemistry there is, I mean, her and I, we love working with each other. And we've been meaning to get together for a while now. Everybody's just been so busy, but she is, because we want to have a real night out on the town. Like we had so much fun that we're like, this is going to be a blast.
Can you like warn LA before it happens? I think there need to be
Oh
like
yeah,
advance warnings.
just sound the alarm. Yeah, no, we're crazy.
Oh, it's so much fun. Um, Lucy, you've not written, you've worked on lots and lots of sets. Kind of who are the people that you kind of really rate around you that you're like, they've really made me raise my game? Or is that too hard a question asking you to single people out? I don't want to put you in unfair
No, I
pressure.
don't think that's hard at all. Like that, the people that push me,
Hmm.
I think that one of the directors who I just adore working with, Ira, she was the first director that I worked with, and then I've worked with her now, I think 3 times, and every single time, she makes me do my whole character assessment, my arc. She pushes me. She pushes me to not just like, say, oh, it's another vertical, it's the same person. She gets
Mm.
me to really actually take a deep dive into this character and bring a lot uh, to to set, and I really, really appreciate that because sometimes I need the extra push. I'm like, I get complacent. I'm always like, oh well, it's the same thing. I got this. Like I know I got this. But I like, and of course, my partner pushes me to do the same thing. Nick is very much like, make these fun, make these, get into them, do the work, and you will feel better about it. And I really appreciate that from him too. Gosh, I've had a lot of just friends in this space where we get on set and it's like, oh wow, like we're gonna make this good. We're actually gonna make this good. And Skylar's one of those people. Like when she cries in the bar to me and I console her. That girl was really going through it when we were on set. I mean, she was getting there, genuinely getting there. And I was genuinely consoling her, where we could have made that a bit too, where she could have just been drunkenly crying and me consoling her and having it be like really funny. She was there. She was there for those emotions. And that was something that I was like, wow, sometimes when we take the comedy out of it, because I lean a lot into comedy, if you can tell, especially with my villains. I love leaning into comedy. I love to rely on my theater background for stuff like that. But when we do take some of it seriously, when it needs to be that serious, I'm like, those are actually powerful moments. And so that's something that I'm recently learning, especially in my new projects that have been coming up. I'm like, I have the opportunity to really make this settle in a way that isn't, I could throw it away. I think a lot of I get vulnerable and I'm like, oh, I'll throw it away with comedy because this is so crazy that I would be saying this stuff to her and I'm just going to make it funny. But I'm like, what if I actually do go there? What if I let this person be so hurt by their circumstances that they would say these nasty things and get that vulnerable with it? And I think that helps the other person. If I'm a villain or if I'm a lead, it does help that seriousness in the moment, the soapy drama of it. So that's stuff that I'm continuously working on and trying to bring to set into my characters, and that's where I'm like keeping myself in check and being accountable, because I'm like, I can do the work and I need to do the work on these because they're worth the work. They really are, even though they're wild. They are they're actual stories.
So I say I love this when people do this. They naturally take the conversation where I want to go, which is, you mentioned new projects. Brooke Moltrum, what can we look forward to seeing you on screen as soon?
Yes. Well, I've got a couple of things in the works right now that hopefully will be coming to fruition, but you can definitely, 2025 has been my villain era a little bit. So I have been taking on those roles recently in a different way that I'm excited about. I hope it resonates with my fans. Because I know everybody in this space loves to see me as like the lead, the happy, sweet girl. And I love, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love those characters and I love to play those girls. And they're a lot of work. And these ones are, the villain roles that I've been getting have been really easy days on set and like really fun. So I'm excited for you guys to see, and I hope people enjoy. But there will be leads down the line. But some upcoming stuff is a couple of villain roles, so that'll be fun.
And longer term, are you interested in moving into other roles in the space? Do you experiment with writing? You mentioned producing. Have you do you feel like you've got a bug somewhere that you might want to do a bit of one of those things?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I actually have been writing a vertical. I think we all are just diving into trying to write something because they're fun. They're fun to write, and you find that they're pretty easy to write too, because they're so short. So that's, yeah, you throw in the tropes or you don't, and you kind of see what lands and what doesn't. I've enjoyed that. I really do want to step into directing. I used to direct theater, and one of my thesis projects was directing. I took a radio play and I put it on stage, and it was a really wonderful experience. I loved directing all of that. And I know film directing is a completely different animal in and of itself, but I'm learning the terms. I'm being on set has given me so many opportunities to meet, learn, absorb, and I think it'd be really fun to it'd be so much work. The directors are the unsung heroes. They do everything. I mean, it is crazy how much effort and time they put into these. But I think it would be a really good experience, and I love being a director that can talk to actors. I'm definitely like I would be considered an actor's director, and I really like working with actors directors who like they kind of know how to speak to their actors in a way that helps aid the performance. It doesn't like, it's not dictating the performance of like, do this way, but it helps them get there. And I love that collaborative process is really interesting to me. And so hopefully I can step into that in some way in this space. I think that would be really fun. And then obviously like producing maybe a production company. I don't know. It's all the nice thing about this space is there's so many opportunities.
100%. Oh, I'm so excited. I just want to finish as well. Obviously, you have a musical background. The fans all want a musical vertical. I'm putting it in every video. We want a musical vertical. Can someone make one? You clearly need to be in it. So we're just putting that out there.
Yes, I've got Broadway credits. I've got one.
Exactly. And then I also wanted to tie it into, I think it's kind of people are aware that you've just moved. How many musical instruments do you own?
That is a great question. I have one. I have a really bad keyboard. It's just terrible.
We need to get you one of those vertical pianos. We need to get you a piano.
I would adore a piano. So I teach voice too to when I do have time in my little spare time. I have about 5 or 6 students now that I alternate between. I used to have 10. I used to have like an actual big studio and a studio space, and that was really fun. But when I started moving into this stuff, it just trickled off. But I still keep in touch with my like 6 students, and we touch base. My students right now are 7 to 10 years old. So, which is just such a great age. Yeah, it's a really good age group. And I teach singing on this little rinky-dinky keyboard. I do my best. I would love a piano. A piano is a bit expensive for us. I think my keyboard was like $100 that I just found on Target.
Expensive. Keyboards, particularly if you get one that's like got a piano length of keys, they're really expensive. So, yeah.
They are. They're so expensive. I think I've got an 81 key, and it works. Honestly, at the end of the day, it just has to make noise, and I will make noise too. So it's perfect.
Can I ask you just a few quick little silly questions at the end? Just like life advice with Brooke. So what would be your top tips for someone moving house? What have you learnt? What would you say to them?
Oh my gosh. Get your boxes early. Lowe's has great boxes. They have the ones where you can like put your finger in it and like carry it like that. Yes. So if you're in the US, Lowe's, I don't know what it would be over in the UK. But any department store typically has good boxes. Get them early. I love to make boxes. That's such a weird little, it's so satisfying to me. So that's fun. Get in the space, and then I love to take cardboard and cut out so measure your table or desk or whatever it is and cut out a piece of cardboard that's about that size and then put it where you think you want it. And that way you can arrange, kind of like cut out a little square of a chair, cut out your table, cut out where you want to put pictures on the wall. And then when you arrange it in the space, you can kind of see where things need to be lined up and what will look the best. And then, of course, you get it in the space and you can change your mind. But it's a huge time saver for actually having to pick up heavy furniture and move it around.
Yes, and having done not that with my husband, I imagine with your partner, whoever, they get a bit
Yes,
annoyed when you're like, I want to move the heavy thing over there now. Just put that there.
exactly.
No, it look better there. So if
Yes,
we can
my
avoid some
partner
of
does the
that,
heavy lifting.
yeah. Yes, right. We won't tell my husband that this could have saved us a lot of trouble in the last 10 years. Um, you have to know,
I
I'm getting,
recently learned.
yeah, I get you obsessed with the tape when you're making boxes. I need to know, do you have like a proper tape gun or are you
Oh
just
yeah.
using a roller?
Oh no, I gotta have the tape gun. I love that. And
It's one of
the whole.
life's joys. Everyone needs a tape gun. It's just one of life's joys, isn't it? It's brilliant.
Exactly. Yes, highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
And now I think we'll learn a lot about you. So when you did all your boxes, how well are they labelled?
I'm a great labeler. I'm very, very specific. Nick is not as specific. His boxes are not as labeled as my boxes, which is okay. It's a little
Yeah.
bit irritating. But yeah, I love to like say, kitchen, this and that. I mean, I'm fine. I love to write. I like the tactical, putting pen to paper, putting a pen to a box. I enjoy it, so it doesn't matter to me. I am very specific.
I had an instinct. I think Brooke Moltrum's organised and will label her boxes well. So there you go.
Oh my gosh, I love that you said organized. I will tell my partner and my parents that you think I am organized. Thank you.
Is there is this going against the common convention then?
Yes. I will share with you something very fun and personal. It does include a swear word. Is that okay? I don't
We
have to
can
say
cope
the
with that.
swear word. I will omit the swear word, but my dad and mom so lovingly have given me the nickname of BFM because my initials are Brooke Moltrum and then the F in there. So my dad used to say the bare F minimum. So those are
Oh,
my because I tend to work smarter, not harder, as I would say. But they love to spread around this joke, and now my partner knows this joke, and he uses it too. It is very much me to get the minimal thing done, to get like the least amount done that I need to make it work. So
I am with you. I think yeah, they're just missing out. I'm with you. It's
I
like,
know
why?
exactly. I
You get
think
it done.
everyone
What are
should
you
do.
doing?
I know. I think
Yeah,
everyone
no.
should do the BFM.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You are the best, and I'm totally on your side with that. So you can tell everyone. I've said so.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You are so awesome. I just want to say a huge thank you for spending an hour of your busy life just chatting with me. I'm sure the internet will be very grateful as well because people don't just like you, they love you. You're just, yeah, people adore you. So thank you.
That means so much to me. I'm so happy we were able to do this. Thank you, and thank you to everybody who watches these and supports us. Like it means so much more than you know. Like truly means a lot. So thank you.